Welcome to Looking Within, a podcast for the spiritual explorer in each of us. I'm Julie. I love to explore the inner life using contemplative practices, and I love to help others to do the same. In our time together, I hope you gain a sense of hope, meaning, joy, and love. As a Christian spiritual explorer, I hope to offer some thoughts to help you see God's presence and activity in ever-expanding ways. As you listen, ponder, and experience the divine, feel free to use the spiritual perspective you are most comfortable with in our practice today. Now, let's begin. Last week, I mentioned a group I was leading that's joining together in a 40-day study and experience of the welcoming prayer. Written by the late Mary Mrozowski of Contemplative Outreach, the welcoming prayer is a prayer practice meant to be lived out in the midst of daily life. This prayer practice is an embodied yes to any experience in the present moment. It's a practice meant to cultivate a growing and trusting relationship with God, and it encourages growth in a person's capacity to tune into God's presence and action in all of life. With practice, this prayer helps us to feel and sink into a felt experience happening in that moment, to welcome it, welcoming God's presence and action in it, and then to let it go or to surrender to what is. We've been gaining some wonderful insights into our inner journeys, and the weekly video chats with about 35 people have been wonderful as well. In one respect, the welcoming prayer bears a similarity to other things that I've heard and read over the years, as it gets me to thinking about being very present to the present moment and accepting the isness of the moment. But the language and words found in Mrozowski's prayer put an even finer point on this. For the welcoming prayer's aim is to remind us of the loving presence of God that's found in whatever comes to us each day, in whatever comes to us in each moment. It helps us learn to be open to the love and presence of God and the healing action and grace within. In effect, the welcoming prayer helps us to welcome everything, good or bad, joy-filled or devastating, as a gift that can lead to our healing and to our transformation. The introduction to the booklet that we're using for our welcoming prayer group contains a poem by one of my favorite poets, the 13th century Persian poet Rumi. It's called The Guest House, and it perfectly describes this mindset of everything being a gift. I realize that especially during this challenging time within a global pandemic, when circumstances range from inconvenient to painful and stressful to life-altering, everything doesn't always seem like a gift. I imagine down the road, in hindsight, we often obtain a different view of something. With the passage of time, we may notice that a challenge or a change that was forced on us helped us to grow, or altered some patterns in life that needed addressing. And sometimes a challenge or change makes it possible for some new doors and new paths to open to us, or at the very least can make us stronger in some way, and more apt to lean into God's love and presence. I think Rumi's poem captures all of this range of experiences, and the thought of these unexpected gifts that might come our way. Listen now to his poem, and we'll use excerpts of it for our quiet time in a few moments. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably. He may be cleaning you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, Meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Let's take some of Rumi's words into our quiet moments together. In this quiet space and time, I'd invite you to gently close your eyes. I'll sound the Tibetan singing bowl, which will call you to look within. As you're listening to the bowl's reverberations, take 3 deep breaths. Then let your breathing return to normal whenever you'd like. Hear the sound of the bowl now. Let it center you. Let it remind you that God is here with you. Remember these words from today's poem by Rumi. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture, still treat each guest honorably. He may be cleaning you out for some new delight. Is there something going on for you now, or is there something you recall from the past that seemed nothing like a gift at the time, but it ended up creating a wonderful new path for you? Or you developed new patterns, became healthier and more whole, or you were healed or transformed in some way. Notice God's presence and action in each moment, but especially during the most challenging times. Notice the gifts that came your way, for everything is a gift. I'll be back with you in about 3 minutes. I'd invite you now to take a few deep breaths in and out, in and out. Let these breaths fill you with strength and energy. Hear me sound the Tibetan singing bowl, and as the sound of the bowl reverberates and slowly dies away, you can gently open your eyes, remaining still for a moment longer. As always, thank you for traveling with me through these episodes of Looking Within. As the welcoming prayer says, welcome everything that comes to you in this moment. Welcome thoughts, feelings, emotions, persons, situations, and conditions, knowing that the things that come into your heart, mind, body, and daily schedule are in some way meant for your healing, for your growth, and for your transformation. God's loving and active presence are inside of you and all around you, helping you to grow in wholeness and love. In the words of Rumi's The Guest House, whatever comes your way, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Thank you for making time for your inner self today. Whatever you've discovered and experienced, carry that with you in the coming days. You can find more episodes at our website, gloria-day, that's DEI.com/lookingwithinpodcast, or subscribe through your favorite podcast app. We'll see you next time.